So now for the given input, example, for the given source station, destination station, date. So say let's assume I give second rabat. If I say hi, second rabat to VSKP on so and so date, first 11 November 1st, 111 2022. So now my program has to go to the database and search for this combination on this date. What data is there? Rule 1, we don't create everything in a single table. So my program has to search 2 3 tables. How many tables we have created, that many tables it has to search. And if it finds any records, we have to display that in rows and columns. Somewhat like this. We will display serial number, train name, train name, arrival time, departure time, so on. So information. So now this information has two things. If you observe, these are input variables, inputs. These are outputs. These are output variables. So we will be discussing something about variables. Variables. Variables are placeholders. Variables are placeholders, or you can call it as a containers to hold the data during the runtime of program. During execution, these variables will store the data using this containers. Now let's assume you want to store something. You want to store something. So example, I want to drink a tea. Which container will you use? I want to drink a tea. Which container will you take? Cup. What type of cup? What type of cup?
Take a
Tea cup. Glass, steel, plastic.
Ceramic.
I can use steel
based
glass
on
also.
the what?
Some people have the
Yes,
habit of
sir.
taking steel.
Whatever.
Some types will be there. Yes or no? Now, will you drink a tea in a big bowl,
No.
1 liter
No,
bowl?
sir.
Now,
No, sir.
officially speaking, I can put a cup of tea in the bowl and then drink. But ideally, we don't do it. Ideally, if you want to drink, if you want to do some crazy things, then you can do. But a small cup of tea, why you want to put in a 1 liter container and eat and drink? It's a waste. So you can put anything in any container if you want. But depending on our requirement, suppose if you want to drink a water, you are taking a glass. If you are want to drink a tea, you are taking a cup. If you want to eat lunch or something else, so you are taking the corresponding containers and bowls. So here also the same thing. We have to take some containers which suits our requirement. But that does not mean that we should take it. We should not take this container. We should not take this container. You can take any container to store anything. But we will see ideal. Now let's assume I want to store a cup of tea for say half an hour. Half an hour. What will you do? On a paper cup, if you put the tea, after 10 minutes, it will start melting. The cup will start melting. It will overflow. From the side, it will slowly leak, and after half an hour, it will completely leak. If you observe, take a juice glass, paper glass, and store some juice in the glass. After half an hour, 1 hour, the maximum capacity it can hold is half an hour or 1 hour. But if you put the same thing in a glass container or a steel glass or a ceramic glass, it will stay till evening or night also. Not a problem. It will get cold, but it will stay. So we have to choose the correct type based on our requirement. Correct type. We call it as data types. So data types. We have elementary data types, also called as elementary or also called as basic data types. Data types are C, character, N, numeric, numeric, D, date, T, time, string. So these are called as basic data types, or also called as elementary data types. So we will start with basic or elementary data types, and then we'll go deeper and deeper. So now my requirement is to add two variables. My requirement is to add two variables. Addition program. In addition program, I want to add two variables. So how many input variables shall I declare? How many inputs variables shall
Three.
Two.
Two, sir.
Three.
three? Why
They
three?
both are same, sir.
Increment of
One.
one.
Three, sir, three.
Increment.
Why three?
One
Okay, one
for
for
two for the
for
input and one for output.
No, sir.
I
One
want to
input.
add two variables. I said I want to add two variables. Variable one, variable two, where the user can give the inputs. First, you have to understand how your input screen should look like. I want variable one. I want variable two, where the user will enter something here, 10 and 2. Then, if the user clicks execute, I should show him the result. I should show him the result. Right now, we are designing two screens, input screen and output screen. So result should be displayed here. Whatever is the result, example 12. So this we call it as output variable. Output variable. This we call as input variable. First thing, the developer should plan what input variables he want on the screen. What output variables he want on the screen. Based on that, we have to use. So now the variables are classified into two types. Variables can be divided into two types. First one, input variables. Second one, output variables. So also input variables are also called as selection screen, selection screen variables, also called as parameters, also called as parameters. Output variables, nothing but output screen variables. Okay, also called as data variables, data variables. So now these variables, parameter, the input variables are declared with keyword parameters. The keyword used is parameters. Example, parameters p underscore variable one, some name, type integer. Some name, any name you want, you can give. Some name. There is no restriction that you should give this one only. You can give any name you want. Example. So this is syntax. Syntax. Here we use data type. Parameters. P underscore some num1, type integer. Parameters, date of birth, type d, date variable. Parameters, tob, time of birth, type t, time variable. Like this, whatever variables you want, you can give. So now I'm coming to AC38. AC38, report 3, create, Lenin. Lenin. Who is Lenin? Lenin. Are you there in the class?
Shorts brand.
Huh?
It's a brand.
No. Username. Username. Whose
Username.
user ID is Lenin?
Okay.
I clearly told, don't use this sequence. I am using this sequence. You don't use this sequence. Tomorrow, you people will get confused. Suppose Lenin has done something wrong in this. Now, some people, right now in the class, 31 students are there. Nearly 20 students are absent. In the night, someone will open this program and say, ah, okay, Sir has told this. Something wrong he has done, the people also will learn the same wrong thing. I clearly told, don't use this sequence. Don't use this sequence. So Lenin is there, not there in the class, right now?
Yeah, I am here.
Hmm. So I told you, don't use this sequence, yes or no?
Yeah.
When someone is, now your manager is saying something, don't do it. If you do it,
Okay.
what will happen? What action they will take? So anyhow, from next time onwards, please don't do this.
Okay.
Because people are searching with some sequence. My programs, all my programs will be with one sequence, so that whoever is missing the class, they can see the program. If you also follow the same thing, people don't know which program is you have created, which program I have created. You create your name. If you are interested, why Lenin followed by report one? If you feel that it is so much big, why LN underscore report one? If someone else, why Sita underscore report one? Like this, if you create, you can search your programs easily. Create your own sequence. Don't touch my sequence. Don't touch
Okay.
this sequence.
Sure.
So as of now, I'm deleting this program. You create this program once again.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Now, so now I have to create a program like this with two input variables, one output variable. So input variables are declared by using the keyword parameters. Parameters, and output variables are declared with keyword data variables. So the syntax: data, some name, type, some data type. Now how we declared here, the same way we have to declare here also, but the parameters will be replaced with data data data. The parameters will be replaced with data keyword. So now I am creating report 3. Create variables, type executable, save, local object. Now parameters. There is some old keyword parameter. We should not use this parameter. It should be parameters s. Some name, variable one, num one, whatever name you want, you can give. Parameters num one, type, integer. Parameters num2, type integer variable where I can enter a number. If you want to enter date, parameters variable 2, type date. Parameters variable 3, type time. Like this we have to give. Number one, number two, dates and times. Slowly we learn data types. As of today, we'll see only these two. So parameters, check the syntax, activate, activate, execute. If you see, if I execute this, I will get one screen where I can give the input, whatever input I want. So this screen is called as selection screen. So whatever input screen we create, we call this input screen as selection screen. Selection screen where the user can select some inputs, and this output screen is called as basic list. The output screen, what you see in the output, we call as basic list. So selection screen, basic list. So I have created one selection screen with two inputs. Now when I execute these inputs, the program should calculate this total, these two variables, and give me the output. Suppose if I want to sum up 10 numbers, we have to give 10 numbers here. But as of now, don't make your program complex. Do it with two inputs. Slowly we can increase the inputs. So now output variable data result type I. Data result type I. People who are from the Java background, they will always declare variables like this I, J, K. You can declare like this also, not a problem. But SAP says create a meaningful variables, meaningful names to the variables also. Because we have to write some big programs with 4,000, 5,000 lines. In that 4,000, 5,000 lines, we will be using at least 200 to 300 variables. 200 to 300 variables we'll use. Now, if you don't name it properly while writing the program, you yourself will get confused. Which variable is storing which value, you will get confused. So always we suggest to create a meaningful names. So I'm creating it as a result, res result. So my intention is res means result, or if I want, I can declare completely result, not a problem. Now result is equal to number one, num1 plus num2. These are called as operators. Operators, addition operator, assignment operator. Whenever you are using any operator, you have to leave minimum one space before and after. Minimum one. If you want to leave 4 5 spaces also, not a problem. Like this also, not a problem. But if you do it like this, it will create a problem. My system will assume that the plus num1 is the plus num2 is a name. So it will search with this. It will search with this name, but it cannot find this in your program. Nowhere you declare plus num2. So my intention is to add these two numbers. So what we have to do, we have to leave a space. If you see, it's showing in red color, error. So if you leave a space on, so add the result and write the result. Write the result. Result. Now, whenever you are writing anything on the screen, if it is a text field, we will put in result, single quotes. If I want to write a variable, if I want to write a variable, I should not use any single quotes. Variables don't require any single quotes, but text should have single quotes. So it will write this text result, and whatever value is there in this variable, it will write that variable. Check the syntax, activate, execute. Execute. So now 10, 2, execute. The result is 12. I want this result somewhere in between. So So already you know how to write it. Skip, underline, etc. You can use skip statements to leave some blanks, and then you can position it and write it somewhere. Example: output field. Skip five. Skip 5 lines. Write result at somewhere around 50th position. Activate. Execute. Execute. So 10, 12, or 12 or 13, 13. Execute. So result is 23. So you can play with the output keywords wherever you want. Yes.
Actually, 23 should come after T, right? So why it is giving some gap here? Because the cursor will be at after T.
Now, when you declare integer variable, so let's assume this is one integer variable. So this is my result variable. Now in this result variable, I kept 10. I kept A. So how you are seeing A here? Left justified. Left justified. If the result variable is having 10, what you are seeing?
It is right.
So that's the reason you are getting some gap, right? So integer variables are right justified. So in this entire variable, if you see the square brackets, the variable is adjusted to the right side. If you declare a character variable, you will come just beside this T. Is it clear now?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So numbers are right justified. Now if you see here, the numbers are coming to the right side, not to the left side. So automatically in the output also you are getting the same thing. Okay. So now once again, I am creating report for create multiplication program. Multiplication. Type executable. Executable. Save it. Local object. Now parameters variable 1 type I, type V, check the syntax. Syntactically correct. So I can declare my variable with single field, or I can declare my variable with V1. Check syntax. There is no error. I can declare my variable like this. Check syntax. No error. Okay. My parameter variables, whatever name you want, you can give. But condition. If you see here, the name of the variable is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The name of the variable is 9 characters. If you check the syntax, it will throw error. The variable 1 here can be up to 8 characters. So the important note here is note the name of parameter variables should not cross 8 characters. So at the maximum you can have 8 characters. If you give more than 8 characters, it will throw error. But data variables, note the data variables The name of data variables can be can be of any length. It can have any length. There is no restriction here. That's it. So these points you have to remember. So now I am declaring some variable one, var1, type I, the parameters var2, type I, integer. If you don't like var1, var2, you can declare like num1, num2. Not a problem. Num1, num2. Data res, type I, output variable, followed by result is equal to num1 plus num2 operators. Whenever you are using any operator, we have to leave a space before and after. I am using into multiplication operator. Right, right. Common mistake people will do is res. Common mistake they will do is single quote. When you enclosed any variable in a single quote, it assumes that it's a text and whatever is there in the single quote that it will write. Check the syntax, activate, execute, execute. So now you are getting 10 into 2. I'm expecting 20, but it won't write 20, it will write res. So whenever you are writing variables, we should not enclose in single quotes. Remove the single quotes. Activate. Execute. Execute. 10, 2, execute. So 20. So to write the contents, we will use the variable name without quotes. That you have to remember. Now, in my screen, if you see my screen, I am getting num1, num2, num1, num2. But I don't want here num1, num2. I want a text here. Enter number 1, enter number 2. Enter number 1, enter number 2. I want some text here. Note, note. Once the screen is designed and activated. Once the screen is designed and activated, so I have designed the screen and my program is active. Change, change the selection screen text. Change the selection screen text. So how to change it? Go to text elements, selection text. Go to text elements, selection text. And for num1, what text you want? Enter the number 1. Enter the number 1. Enter the number 2, whatever you want. Activate. It's revised. So make sure this is active. So I'm activating it. Come back. Come back. Execute. So enter number 1, enter number 2. So 2 numbers. So now this is how we design a screen. Selection screen. So now I want something like this. I want a screen with following fields: employee name, employee city, employee phone, employee gender, employee salary, employee date of birth, UOB, date of birth. I want some fields: employee name, employee city, employee phone, employee gender, employee salary, employee date of birth. So the positions are not correct, so it went up and down, so ignore. So I want a screen like this. So how I should design a screen like this, where I can enter multiple inputs. So what keyword we have to use here to design the input screen?
Parameters.
Parameters.
Parameters. So program number 5, create selection screen design. So selection screen is nothing but input screen design. Give some meaningful names. Any name you want, you can give. It's your wish. Done. Now, how many parameters are there?
6.
How many parameters are there?
6.
So I have to create parameters 6 times. 6 variables I want. So 6 parameters. 3, 4, 5, 6. Now whatever fields you want, you can give. Whatever values you want, you can give. But in a program, in one program, we will have multiple combinations. Like input variables are there. These are all input variables. These are all output variables. We will have input variables as well as output variables. Now both will have some name only. Example, here we are having name 1, name 2, etc. Data variables also will have name 1, name 2, etc. Now my program will get confused. Forget about program, we will get confused. Which variable I have to keep in the output, which variable I have to take it as input. So what SAP says is follow some naming conventions, naming rules. So ideally, if you see these days, we'll name separately, boys separately, girls separately. So that by seeing the name itself, we can identify who is a boy, who is a girl. Both are human beings only. But a boy, a girl, we can identify it clearly. Now we will put something before Mr., Mrs., etc., Master, to identify whether it's a kid or a wife or a married or unmarried. We are adding one tail before it. So we'll follow some rules. Here also the same thing. SAP also says, okay, you can name whatever you want, but follow some rules. What are the rules? Whenever you declare a parameter variable, call it as p underscore. When you see p underscore, automatically by seeing the name, I can understand that, okay, it's an input variable with some name, whatever name you want. P underscore city, p underscore phone, p underscore date of birth, p underscore gender, p underscore gender, p underscore sal. Now, if you don't want to use this p underscore, don't use it. But every project will have some rules. So my project rule is you have to start your parameter variables with p underscore. When I see p, I will understand, okay, it's input variable, parameter variable. This is coming from the screen. This is coming from the input screen. Now the keyword type. It's a keyword.
Or
So
can I
what
use
data
instead
type
of
you want?
P? Can I use instead of P to I? Like an I for
You
input.
can, but that depends on your project rules. So when you join a project, your lead will give you some documentations. Example, ABAP material, standards, CRR. So my current project standards, not current project, previous project standards, naming conventions. If you go to naming conventions, if you scroll down, right now we are using parameters. Parameters. So my project standard says you have to declare the names like this, p underscore something. So ultimately in your project, everyone should start with p underscore only. Suppose if your project standard says I underscore, you have to start with I underscore. All the members has to follow the same rule. So in the project team, if 50 ABAPers are there, all the 50 ABAPers should follow the same rule. Now your lead will do the code review. When they review the code, if you are not following the standards, they will say go and correct it and come. That's it. So if your project standard is I, you can use I. Is this clear?
Yes,
Now
sir.
I am declaring this is a keyword. This is a keyword. Type is a keyword. Type. Now what data type you want? Name. What data type?
C. Character C.
Character.
Character. C. C. So in data dictionaries we use char. While creating tables we are using char. In programs we have to use C, type character. But whenever you declare a type character, SAP will create a variable with a single character. So your name will be like this.
No, sir. It,
No, sir. Combination of
Go,
characters.
go to your tables. Go to your tables. Whatever tables you have created. Some table I am going display. It's not there. Okay, I'll go to ZZEMP table display. Now name. How many characters?
10th also should be defined.
30
30.
characters.
Yes, sir.
30 characters. So what we have to do? We have to give 30 type C. How much length you want, that much length we have to give. Note. Note. For data type C, we have to specify the length we want. Example, that some parameters name type C will declare a variable of one length, single length. Parameters name of 30 type C will declare a variable of 30 length. So for type C, we have to specify the length we want. So now I'm saying 30 length. Now city. What is the length? What is the length I'm using city here in this table?
15. 15.
15. So we have to take a variable of 15. Type C character. Phone number. What is the length of the phone number?
10.
10. So we have to take phone number of 10. Type
No. Norms.
And
numC, numeric. So here
Num
message
and
as n. There we declare character number for type C and n. Type C and n. We have to specify the length we want. So we are specifying the length we want. Fixed length number, fixed length character. How much length you want, you have to declare. But in the previous program, if you see, previous program 4, we have not specified any length. For integers, we cannot specify length. For an integer variable, if you specify the length, it will throw some error. Check the syntax. So see here, length specification has no effect in combination with type I. In type I, if you give the length also, it won't have any effect. So indirectly we don't give now. For one variable I gave 10 length, for another variable I didn't give any length. I am activating it by force. Even though it gave me warning message, yellow color messages are warning messages. Even the system is giving me warning, I ignore the warning and execute. So now Even though I gave 10 length, the program has not taken 10 length. It is taking more than 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 length it has taken. Default, we call it as default length. So for integer, we need not give any length. But for characters and numbers, we have to give length. Now, date of birth. Date of birth type?
D.
D. Date. So this is type character. Type character. Type character. After the double quotes, whatever you see is a comment lines. Commenting. I am just giving you some comments here. So while you write a big program, if you add comments, the user will understand what you are doing there. So this is a type numeric. This is type date.
Date.
Now gender, male or female, M or F. How much length?
C.
C.
Single character.
One character.
One character. Type. Salary.
Salary.
What data type?
Number.
Numeric.
Take integer.
Current.
If you take integer, integer cannot take decimals. Integers cannot handle decimals. Integers is a round numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Integers 2.25 is not called as integer. Numbers also can only take numbers. Numbers cannot take decimals. So wherever you want decimals in SAP, here in programming, we use P. Type P. Type P requires decimals. How many decimals you want? 2 decimals or 3 decimals? So we call this as packed decimals. Wherever you want decimals, we use P, packed decimals. So now I'm giving this as the part of the notes also. Examples of parameters. So different data types we are using C and D. As of now, P. Time we'll see later. Yes?
So difference between numeric and integer means I.
Yeah, I will explain. I'll explain. First, let's complete this, then I'll explain. So now activate it. Type and period is missing. Activate. So now my screen is ready. So once the screen is active, if I execute this, I am getting like this P name, PCT, P phone, P date of birth, etc. I don't want like this. So once the program is active, go to text elements, selection text. Go to text elements, selection text and give whatever you want. Employee city, employee date of birth, date of birth, gender, gender, employee name, employee name, phone, salary. Activate. Execute. Come back. Execute. So now if you see employee name, employee city, employee phone, employee date of birth, employee gender, employee salary. So now you can enter some inputs. After entering the inputs, what we have to do is we have not seen it. That will be our coming topics. So as of today, I'm only restricting it to designing a screen. So screen designing is tough or easy? Now let's come to differences. Someone asked the differences. 6. I am creating program 6. Now my requirement is I want a phone number. I want a phone number. Phone number will have decimals?
No.
No. So now, if you want decimals, there we have to take type P. Right now, I don't want decimals. So, phone numbers will have now parameters P underscore phone, some name, phone number, of length 10. I am taking type C. Wantedly, I am doing a mistake. Type C. If I take a character type C, now user is entering some number here. So by mistake, user is entering 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now here he has entered a O, it is taking. If he enter A, it will take. If he enter C, it will take. Shall the phone number have numbers ABC like this?
No, sir.
The only
So
number.
we should not take. We should not take C. Now if you ask, sir, can we take C? Yes, you can take it, not a problem. But if you take type C, you should be very careful. While doing the data entry, you should be careful. You should not allow the user to enter numbers. Sorry, if you should not allow the user to enter characters. So instead of that, if I take number, a type N won't allow you to enter characters. Type N won't allow you to enter any characters. Execute. So now if I try to type characters also, it is not allowing, it is throwing error. It won't allow. So we can only enter numbers. Wherever you want pure numbers, we can take type N, we can take type I, numeric as well as integer. Now, integer variables, we cannot give any length. Just 5 minutes before I have shown you. For integer variables, even though you give the length, it won't consider the length. So now your phone number is of 10 length 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But now here your phone number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 length, the phone number will be 14 length. But if the user accidentally enters, it will take. Now my intention is to take landline. My intention is to take landline. So landline will have two parts: STD code,
Yes.
phone number.
Yes.
So now I want STD code, parameters P underscore STD code of length 3. Type N, parameters P underscore land of 7. Type N. So now I can take my phone number
Three, sir.
separating.
STD code is
Whatever, two or three or four, whatever. Let's take 3. So I given international code. International code will be 2 length. So let's take 3. So length 3. Activate. Execute. Execute. So now here I can enter 040 followed by whatever is your number. But while integer variables, I cannot declare a integer variable with 3 length. So wherever you want fixed length numbers, fixed length, I can take numeric. Wherever you want to store a general number, any number, in addition multiplication, when you are multiplying two numbers, do you know how much will be the result? The result will be 5 length or 6 length. Can you fix it?
No, sir.
No, sir.
So wherever the length is dynamic, we will take integer variables. Wherever the length is fixed, we take number variables. Num is a fixed length numbers. Type I, dynamic length numbers. So in calculations, we'll use integer. While taking phone numbers, etc., we'll take numbers. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Now we have used only the basic types, which are regularly used data types we have used. There are a lot of other data types we'll be using in the coming classes. everything on one day will go above your head. So today's concentration is mainly about parameters. So I was concentrating only on parameters. So tomorrow we will concentrate on data variables also. So every topic, introduction, revision. Tomorrow we'll revise it along with parameters. We'll revise the data variables. So now tomorrow we will be comfortable to design the screen. We have already started. Tomorrow we'll be comfortable with designing the screen. So automatically tomorrow we'll complete how to design input screen. Already we have completed how to design the output screen. Already we have completed this. So day after tomorrow we will explain you this. But people who are not comfortable with these three, day after tomorrow's class they will confuse. So by day after tomorrow, some people have not even started practicing. So please practice. Else next and this today's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday's class, you cannot understand anything in the Friday's class. You'll get confused because we are clubbing all the three. So on that day, I have to explain how to design the input screen, how to design the input screen, output screen, plus program. So please complete today's topic today itself. If you copy the same day's topic on the same day, programming is very simple. But the problem comes with the students is they like one day batting. Engineering, at the end of tomorrow, next week the exams will be there. Today they will start. So if you do like that, in engineering, if you get pass marks, that's enough. But here, if you get pass marks, you won't get offer. For one post, minimum 10 people will compete. Example, if I post a resume, recently I have posted in the group saying that we want some profiles. So we got nearly 1,000 profiles. 1,000 profiles from our students, plus our student friends also forwarded their profiles to us. So I have 1,000 options. I require 10 people. So out of 10 positions, 1,000 people applied. So I have more options. So I will always try to take the best. So whoever performs the best, I will give preference to them. So will you be selected? So if you want a job, first assume that your partner, your team member is also your competitor. He is also competing. He will also come to your interview along with you. So you have to perform much better than them. That will only come by practice. Practice makes everything simple. So yesterday, whoever has done the assignment, did you got everything in one shot, or without any mistake you directly did it, or multiple times you corrected?
Multiple times, sir.
But
Mark
so let's
details,
assume it take roughly 3 to 4. It took roughly 3 to 4 hours,
3 hours, sir.
Yes, sir.
roughly. So yeah,
1 hour.
for average candidate, the assignment what I give will take 3 to 4 hours average. If you are bit intelligent, you can complete in 1 hour. Some people complete in 1 hour, some people complete in 2 hours. But ultimate target is whether you have understood after 3 hours or 2 hours, have you understood or not? So in the demo, I will always say people who can't spend 4 to 5 hours don't come to the class. Why? Because I'm speaking about average candidates. Out of 100 members in a classroom, everyone won't be the topper. Maximum people will be average candidates like me. I used to take 4 to 5 hours to do the assignment. So based on my pace, I told. But if you are an intelligent guy, you can understand the topic in 1 hour and complete the assignment in 1 hour and you can enjoy, not a problem. But once you said that I have completed, tomorrow or day after tomorrow, I'll give one more report. I will change something in the report output screen and ask you. Now, if you ask me, sir, how to do this? Output screen, already you know how to design output screen, right statements. If you ask me, sir, how to do this? That means you have not practiced perfectly. So when you say practice is over, whatever output screen I ask you to design, you should be in a position to design. That is called as practice. Now Sachin Tendulkar is saying, I can play only in Mumbai ground. Then he is not called a god of cricket. Any ground, any bowler, any batsman, wherever, whatever is the situation, sunny, day, night, midnight, whatever may be the game, he can play, he can bat. Whether it's a white ball, red ball, green ball, whatever is the ball, he can. Whether Shoaib Akhtar is bowling or some spinner is bowling, he can bat. So that's called we call as a great batsman. So now you also should be a great programmer, whatever may be the output, material output, student output, customer output, sales output. I want to use right statements in the output screen. How to use right statements? That's what practice is. Practice till you never do a mistake. So that's it for me for today. Catch you tomorrow. So I will share the notes. And today I will share you the videos of all the 3 classes also. I have not shared because yesterday and day before yesterday I was completely packed with some work. So I couldn't able to share. I will share it today. Thank you.
And sir, character type in length is required to put that.
It's yes. If you see here,
That is mandatory.
if you see mandatory, not mandatory. If you observe program 6, execute. So if you see here for character, not this one, program 5, display. In program 5, for this I have not given any length. For gender, I have not given any length. If you don't give any length, it will be one character. Now for name, if you declare without length, you can only enter one character. So character variable, if you want only single character, don't give the length. If you want multiple characters, we have to give the length. Else, how does my SAP know how much length? My name is bigger length, my city is less length. So here I have taken 30 length, here I have taken 15 length, here I have taken single length. So if you don't give any length, it will declare a single character.
Understood.
I want to type as a full name for the gender, like male or female. Then I need to give
Then you
6.
can then you have to give 6 length.
Okay.
But if you observe in the database, you created a single length gender. In the screen, you are giving 6 length. So how can a 6 length go and sit in 1 length? So depending on your table design, you have to design the screen.
Okay, sir.
Is this clear? So first we will see how my table is there. Based on the table, I will design the screen. How much length you declared in the table. In the table, let's assume you declared 50 length name. But in the screen, you are giving only 30 length name. Not a problem. 30 length can come and sit in 50 length. But let's assume you have given in the table 30 length, but on the screen you gave 50 length. So the user is entering full name 50 length. How can a 50 length data can then come and sit in 30 length? Is mismatching. So screen designing should be based on your table design. Okay, that fundamentals we'll see in the coming topics. Not issue. So just practice how to design a simple screen. And those who have not completed the assignment, try to complete the yesterday's assignment. Thank you.